Swasti Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Saishwaraya Vidmahi Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tannah Sarva Prachodayat. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Asato ma sakamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Kamaya. Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhagavavet. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Good evening. Welcome to day 33 of the Atma Chalisa Parayanam. Wishing everybody a happy Gita Jayanti as well. So yesterday we started on to the next section and the last section of our journey, which is how to remain in a state of being-ness. So we've crossed the section of knowingness into now being-ness. And in being-ness, we started by talking about yesterday that if we can stay in the state of gratitude at all times, then that brings and attracts all the positive energies to us. And our focus goes away from negativity, negative news, negative things that are happening around us. The minute we shift our consciousness into the energies of gratitude, it starts to bring and attract abundance in our life. And that's a very magical way of living. We already know that how to do our actions, how to react and how to interact. Having learned all that, that's the doing part of it. That's the knowingness part of it. But then how do we be? How do we remain? What's the state of being when we are in day-to-day living? And therefore, gratitude is a great start. It's a wonderful way of living life. And actually, it's so beautiful to be able to say thank you and to pay gratitude to everyone, whether it's our children, whether it's our husband, wife, all our neighbors, all the environment, nature, all elements of nature, everything. If we can see that how important and valuable contribution they are making in our journey, in where we are at this point of time, it just fills our heart with gratitude, and that gratitude spreads like magic, and the energetic balance in us starts to shift, and we remain in that state, because the whole idea is how do we remain centered, and gratitude is therefore a very valuable part of this journey. So today we will take the second step forward in the state of beingness, and that is what is called to be in the state of choiceless awareness. Now, what do I mean by choiceless awareness? Which simply means to live a life full of awareness. You're always aware of the truth of your being, that which is beyond the mind, which is the consciousness. And we have said in the past, and we have cleared this through many discussions, that awareness simply is the focus of your attention. If we stop paying attention to our mind, and if we do not comply with the urgings and tendencies of the mind, and if we just learn to observe the mind and observe the thoughts that are coming and going, then we start to remain in the awareness of the consciousness. We become aware of the presence within us. And that is what awareness is about. Now, when we say choiceless awareness, what it means is we have no particular choice of being in a certain state. We are not choosing proactively to be either this or that. We are not seeking anything from our side. We are not wanting to be happy. We are not wanting to keep sadness away. We are not wanting to be in a particular place or to do a particular thing. We are in a state of, let's say, neutrality, and which means that we are open at all times to all that consciousness is going to serve in front of us. Whatever is going to be brought to us, we are ever ready. And as we said, we are looking at it with a sense of adventure. We are looking at it with a sense of joy in our heart, because we've understood that it is nothing but a game, and that we have become very skilled at this game by now, because all the heaviness, all the load that we have been carrying, that our mind had been carrying, we have, on this beautiful journey of the last 33 days, we have left this load behind. And when these so-called surprises of life come in front of us, we are skillfully, without losing our enthusiasm, we are able to now face those situations, we are able to tackle those events, and we are able to solve even the naughtiest of the problems, because we are seeing it as a beautiful game of consciousness. And since we have now started to operate out of that, we are able to, by the day, see an improvement in us, in our ability to look at events, to look at life, in our ability to watch our thoughts. And when we go back to the basics that we have been discussing, and as most of you have been sharing those experiences in the group, how beautifully, when we apply that knowledge, that understanding, that knowingness into our day-to-day life, things start to shift. And it seems all of a sudden, the steering wheel of our life is back in our control. We are no longer being thrown away by the vagaries of life and by situations happening and putting us out of balance. And suddenly we feel that we are in control. And this is something that I have heard from most of you getting echoed, because of where we were and where we have now reached, because we have practiced. We've done enough manana on it, and we've started to practice this. And therefore, this shift is coming. So, therefore, the best way of being, the best way of living life is, as the sages before us have called it, a state of choiceless awareness. We have no choice. Because remember, the ability to make a choice also comes from the mind. We are operating out of consciousness, and we are able to do it because we know that the consciousness is super intelligent, super intuitive. It has a plan, it has a way of doing things, and it is always in control. And therefore, we rest in ananda, knowing this fact that the higher consciousness is, which has always been in control, but now we are aware of this truth, that this game of life is not going out of control. It's actually now completely in our control. And therefore, there is no anxiety left. We are not thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh, if I miss this, what is going to happen? If we hold on to it, we know always situations work out in such a way that we are able to do what we are yearning to do. And so therefore, it makes us start feeling more settled. We are more balanced. And therefore, for us, it does not matter any longer of what and how things are going to come in front of us. And we are always ready. And we are not particular about things happening in a certain way, in a certain manner. And therefore, it makes you spontaneous. Because, you're able to do things in such a free way, because you know that if it is coming from the consciousness, then it is certainly going to happen. And if it is coming from the mind, mind, then there will be a lot of roadblocks and challenges that will come. I shared an example with you yesterday. I'll share one more example, which what happened today. So I had thought of that, once we finish this 40 days of Parayanam, I am going to, make a sweet dish to celebrate this occasion, which is how we have grown up in a Hindu household where a Parayanam or any particular puja or a festival is celebrated. You actually make a sweet halwa. So I thought of making because it's winter, a carrot halwa. And I know that it is a favorite of Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai. And he always tells me that, whenever you make this, you have to send it to me. So I had thought that we will celebrate these 40 days and after that we will make it. And my daughter also loves it. But this morning when I was making my food, it suddenly came to me that today is Gita Jayanti and that he has been working very hard over these last days to finish his discourses on Bhagavad Gita. And so today was a celebration of sorts. So I thought, rather than doing it for myself, why don't I do it for him? Okay. And what a beautiful occasion it is. Let me do it. Now, this sweet carrot halwa is specially made out of the red carrots, which are not grown in South India. So they come from north and here they call it the Delhi carrots. So I went with a friend of mine to look for these carrots today. I said, okay, if I find them, then I'll make it. Right. And I knew only one market in Chikbellapur where you get them. We went there. Of course, it wasn't there. And my friend is a local person. So he speaks the local language. He came back. He said, I will take you to the wholesale market. We might get over there. I said, all right. I had never seen a wholesale vegetable market here. So we went to the wholesale vegetable market and he said, you stay in the car. Let me go and make inquiries. I said, all right. After 5 minutes, he came back and he said, yes, it's available. So what happened? He went to this particular shop and they said they don't have it. He requested to them that, that he has a friend from North India who wants to specially do this because of Gita Jayanti today. And he would be highly grateful if they can arrange this. So these people sent somebody inside the wholesale market and they got for us 3 kgs of red carrot. Had I gone myself, I would have never got this carrot, right? So I had somebody with me who got me those carrots. On the way, all the other things that were required, we bought, and I entered the ashram quite late. It was almost 12 o'clock when I reached. And I thought, oh my God, when am I going to make it? And where am I going to make it? Because it's 3 kgs of carrot. So I just went directly to the Western canteen and requested Brother Fabio and Sister Manuela. I just reached there unannounced. And I said, I want to make carrot halwa over here. They were a little unhappy that I had come unannounced and that they were very busy. But to cut the long story short, everything happened. It's a very tedious process to peel the carrots. 3 kg carrots are a lot of carrot. And then to slice those carrots and then to cook it. It takes about 1.5 hours to cook the carrot halwa. But miraculously, by 2 o'clock, I don't know how it happened, but the carrot halwa was ready. I made it. I came back to my room with this big box of carrot halwa and I messaged him saying, dear Sadhguru, on the occasion of Gita Jayanti, I'd like to offer carrot halwa as prasadam with love and light. And less than 30 seconds, message came back, okay. And within 5 minutes, that carrot halwa had reached for what it was made, right? And I had my lunch quite late today because I didn't get time at all for this. So what I'm sharing with you is that if you are in this state of choiceless awareness, when you have no particular mind of your own, then the consciousness intuitively sets up things for you. And because it's an adventure for you and there is a joy in your heart, right? I went around chasing the city and, trying to get things with this very clear. If I get it, I will do it. If I don't get it, it's okay. I have tried, right? But of course, every time against all odds things were happening, I really knew that Satya Sai Baba today really wanted this halwa for the Gita Jayanti Prasadam, right? And I said, by now I know it so well that it's such a game. What consciousness wants, it will make it happen, right? Now depends upon if you know this game and if you are playing this game yourself, it becomes such a beautiful adventure. You lose track of time. You are not doing it for anybody. You're doing it for your own self. You're doing it for the joy it brings to your heart, right? And you are absolutely open at all times. And there is a big function going on right now celebrating Gita Jayanti, but there is no need to go over there because you are in that oneness with that supreme consciousness. My contribution was only to do that little bit, right? So this is what is being in that state of awareness where you do not have any particular choice, where you are open, all that is coming your way, and therefore you are neutral. You're neither on the left nor on the right. You're neither positive nor you're negative, nor you have your own particular mind to do a particular thing at your chosen thing. You are ready to accept anything that comes, and that is such a beautiful state. Choiceless awareness. You're aware, but you don't have any choice. Any choice or anything that the consciousness chooses, you're okay with it. And which is nothing but, in another way, what we talked about, say yes to life, right? That when it comes, how do you deal with it? You say yes to it. You say, okay, come, right? Here you are now. So that was from an action standpoint. I am now talking more about how you remain in that state of consciousness or beingness, because remember, we are human beings, and it's such a beautiful feeling to live a life away from the clutches of the mind, and the screaming that goes on in your head, and the compulsions that we have had to deal with. And suddenly you come to this beautiful ocean of peace where you are ever contented, and yet you're not lazy. Contentment and choicelessness does not mean that you're just going to sit in Padmasana and doing meditation. Of course not. You are ready for all that the consciousness is going to prompt you, because by now you've stilled your mind and you've been able to recognize that it is coming from the consciousness. And when you start operating, all your actions and the experiences after the actions tell you that this is what is coming from the consciousness or the heart and not from the mind. And I want all of you to start associating with that stillness, that silence, that peace, this removal of reactions, and this sense of anticipation and joy in us is what is the experience of ananda. And that comes when we are in the awareness of consciousness. And that comes from the right understanding that I am not this body-mind duo, but I am that immortal being which is residing in this complex of body and mind. It is that permanence which does not get destroyed because of the changing body and mind. That knowledge. So we started off our journey 33 days back with acquiring the right knowledge. We removed the darkness of ignorance from our mind. We got our facts right. We understood the laws that operate around us. And then we started to move into an experiential journey. And now we are coming to that point. We are beginning to identify what it means to be in that state of awareness, so that this experience is just not a blip. Something happened yesterday when I used the word blip, but it is something that remains with us. It's that presence, and that presence which you are experiencing at this point of time. That is what this game of life is all about, of experiencing this presence, being in this presence. Sat Chit Anand. So once the truth, dawns on us and all the clouds are removed of our misunderstanding, and then that chitta starts to shine, that awareness starts to come, the resultant experience, the state of being is of that bliss. So if you all were to close your eyes right now and sit erect, and for the next 5 minutes, I want you to experience this state of choiceless awareness. And after that, please do share with me your experience. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I thank all of you for being here. I thank Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba for his presence. And I thank Sri Krishna for giving us the gift of Bhagavad Gita and for giving us the message of eternal life. And I thank Arjuna and all the other Arjunas who have been present for being that disciple or that student because of which all these teachings came down to all of us. And I pray that all of us can live the essence of this in our lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then I once again thank all of you. Lots of love and light to all of you, and have a great time. See you tomorrow evening. Jai Sai Ram. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu.